Bonsoir à tous, so lovely to be with you tonight for the 20th part of La Belle au Bois dormant. I can't believe 20 parts mean that you've been watching French lessons for 10 hours. So I think you've learned a lot so far. So thank you very much to Charles Perrault and Sleeping Beauty, La Belle au Bois dormant. So yesterday the princess woke up and she fell in love with the prince and the prince fell in love with the princess. Everything is perfect. What happens next? Let's aim for that. Maybe we'll reach up to there, but let's take one sentence after the other. Are you ready to read that? Breathe in, breathe out, and let's read 1, 2, and 3. Il était plus embarrassé qu'elle, et l'on ne doit pas s'en étonner. Elle avait eu le temps de songer à ce qu'elle aurait à lui dire, car il y a apparence, l'histoire n'en dit pourtant rien, que la bonne fée, pendant un si long sommeil, lui avait procuré le plaisir des songes agréables. Enfin, il y avait 4 heures qu'ils se parlaient, et ils ne s'étaient pas encore dit la moitié des choses qu'ils avaient à se dire. Oh, that's so lovely. Lots of liaison today and a huge sentence. So let's cut it here. Il était plus embarrassé qu'elle. Here we have une liaison. Il était plus embarrassé qu'elle. He was more embarrassed than she was. Et l'on ne doit pas s'en étonner. And we should not be surprised about that. Why? Because elle avait eu le temps de songer à ce qu'elle aurait à lui dire. Elle avait eu, here we have une liaison, le temps de songer à ce qu'elle aurait à lui dire. So he was more embarrassed than her because he didn't know really what to say. It was unexpected for him to find a princess in a castle asleep. Et l'on ne doit pas s'en étonner. Here, devoir is to must, but it is to should. Okay, should. We should not be surprised, or we must not be surprised. Let's put must here. Et l'on ne doit pas s'en étonner. S'en étonner is to be surprised about it. S'étonner is to be surprised about something. S'étonner de quelque chose. Elle avait eu le temps. She had the time. Elle avait eu le temps de songer à ce qu'elle aurait à lui dire. Songer is to think. Okay? Songer is to think. It is réfléchir as well. In modern French, we would not say songer. We would say réfléchir. Songer, we would put réfléchir instead, which is to think. However, un songe is un rêve, a dream. A dream. Un songe is un rêve, a dream. Okay? Un songe. Ouais, c'est ça. Mais c'est un rêve as in a plan, not a dream that you have at night. Okay? It is more of a plan, a dream for the future. For the future. Now, because in formal French, it is un rêve, okay? But in modern French, un songe would be more of a dream for the future. Songer, but here it is to think about it. De songer à ce qu'elle aurait à lui dire. What she would like to tell him. What she would have to say to him. She had the time to think about, that's about, what she would tell him. Okay, so this is exactly the translation. Lots of verbs here. Il était... Okay, so let's read that again. Il était plus embarrassé qu'elle et l'on ne doit pas s'en étonner. Elle avait eu le temps de songer à ce qu'elle aurait à lui dire. Car il y a apparence, l'histoire n'en dit pourtant rien, que la bonne fée, pendant un si long sommeil, lui avait procuré le plaisir des songes agréables. So remember what I told you about songe before? Songe in modern French is a dream for the future, but in older French, it is a dream, like a real dream that you're doing when you're sleeping, and this is what it means here. Yeah. Car il y a apparence. This is completely old-fashioned French. Here, you can think about what it means when you think about the English. There is an appearance. Well, it seems. En fait, il y a apparence, c'est il paraît, we could say. Il y a apparence. Il paraît que. It seems. This is not the correct rewriting. Okay, it is not the best one, but it is a close one. So it seems. Here we're talking about what seems to be, so we can say il paraît que. Il semblerait is even better. I'm going to put something else. Car il semble que. I would even put il semblerait que. Now, I will keep the present because here it is in present, so I think it makes more sense to keep the same one. So, il semble que, car il semble que, l'histoire n'en dit pourtant rien. And here it's funny because he refers to the story, even though he's saying it. L'histoire n'en dit pourtant rien. The story doesn't say anything about it. L'histoire n'en dit pourtant rien. The story doesn't say anything about it. Que la bonne fée, that the good fairy, remember the good fairy, the last one who made the change between it's going to kill her to it's going to make you sleep for 100 years. Pendant un si long sommeil, during such a long sleep, here the si is such, during such a long sleep, lui avait procuré le plaisir des songes agréables. Les songes agréables, nice dreams, the pleasure of nice dreams, and lui avait procuré. Here again, it is old-fashioned French. You should have said donner, okay, for example, to give, procurer. Procurer quelque chose à quelqu'un is to provide something for someone else. But se procurer is to get hold of something. So you can imagine in both ways. For example, le boulanger a réussi à se procurer du chocolat pour ses pâtisseries malgré les restrictions en place. The boulanger, the baker, managed to get No, this is not that. This is here. Okay. So, le boulanger a réussi à se procurer du chocolat, so managed to get hold of chocolate for his pâtisserie, malgré is despite, yes, of course, despite restrictions in place. Okay. Ou je me suis procuré des crayons de couleur pour mon fils. So I got hold of coloring pens for my son. Je me suis procuré. So here you just change the sentence side. But se procurer is usually something that you're going to use more. So the fairy gave her the pleasure of agreeable dreams. So again, we have this that doesn't really fit in modern French. We have this one that doesn't really fit, but we can take from it and improve our everyday spoken French this way. So let's read the sentence again. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Car il y a apparence, l'histoire n'en dit pourtant rien, que la bonne fée, pendant un si long sommeil, lui avait procuré le plaisir des songes agréables. And here we have une liaison as well. Okay, so that's good. We can move on to the next sentence. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Enfin, il y avait 4 heures qu'ils se parlaient et ils ne s'étaient pas encore dit la moitié des choses qu'ils avaient à se dire. Let's look at la liaison. Enfin, il y avait 4 heures qu'ils se parlaient et ils ne s'étaient pas encore dit la moitié des choses qu'ils avaient à se dire. Enfin, at last, il y avait 4 heures qu'ils se parlaient. Here we can imagine what this means. They've been talking for 4 hours. We would not say il y avait 4 heures qu'ils se parlaient ever. Ils se parlaient depuis 4 heures. So we could say enfin. Yeah, we would need more than that. So if you want to use this one and turning to modern French, you would say ils se parlaient depuis 4 heures. All that. Ils se parlaient depuis 4 heures. Enfin, il y avait 4 heures qu'ils se parlaient. They've been talking for 4 hours. That's huge. Et ils ne s'étaient pas encore dit la moitié des choses. And they had not even said to each other, because we have the se ici, dit la moitié des choses, half of the things they wanted to tell each other. Okay, we have se here and se here as well. So it is all about se dire. Okay, dire is to say, and se dire is to say to yourself or to each other. For example, ils se sont dit des mots doux toute la soirée. Les mots doux is words of love. I love this. Mots doux. How can we translate that? Love, sweet nothings. Yeah. So they said sweet nothings to each other all evening. Un mot doux is that it can be a love letter, but it absolutely doesn't have to be it. It's words of love, and it can be spoken as well. Un mot doux. Something that we could use at the moment, so you could tell that your loved ones. Okay, then. Checking the sentence. This one is really, really long. Okay, I'm going to cut it here so we can study it. Are you ready? We're going to read this together. 1, 2, and 3. Cependant, tout le palais s'était réveillé avec la princesse. Chacun songeait à faire sa charge. Et comme ils n'étaient pas tous amoureux, ils mouraient de faim. I loved this sentence because it's so down to earth. And yeah, I think I'm growing to love this fairy tale more and more. I didn't know this version. I only knew Disney. And this one is really funny. I love this paragraph. When I prepared, I just realized that it was really good. And I look forward to reading the next part of it and maybe more. So, cependant is however. I'm going to write this again just in case you want it, but I think we saw it in the previous parts. Tout le palais, all the palace, s'était réveillé avec la princesse, had woken up with the princess, okay? S'était réveillé avec la princesse, because remember, they all fell asleep at the same time and all of them are going to wake up together, so they did. Cependant, tout le palais s'était réveillé avec la princesse. Chacun songeait à faire sa charge. This is the third time we have songé in just one page. It's crazy. So here you can see again, songer is to think about. Okay, here it is not to dream, they're thinking about it. Chacun songeait, each one was thinking about doing sa charge. So, la charge is usually the weight. I think the charge is right if it's in an elevator. Load. Just checking. Load. So load is the best, okay? The load. This is for modern French. But here it is not that. It is more their task, the task, the burden, okay? But it's the job, okay? They have to do their job. La tâche is the task or the burden. Sorry, la charge. Et comme ils n'étaient pas tous amoureux, and as not all of them were in love, ils mouraient de faim. They were very hungry, obviously, because they haven't had anything in 100 years. Mourir de faim is literally to starve to death, but it is to be starving. This is something that is absolutely fine in modern French. You can use that as you wish. Let's read this sentence together to check if we have liaison, but I don't think we have any here. See, we have one here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Cependant, tout le palais s'était réveillé avec la princesse. Chacun songeait à faire sa charge et comme ils n'étaient pas tous amoureux, ils mouraient de faim. Really lovely. Oh, and by the way, don't forget, if you like this lesson, to put a thumb up. That would be really nice. You can put a thumb up to the video. Then what happens next? Because they are very hungry. And yeah, it's quite a normal reaction after 100 years. La dame d'honneur, pressée comme les autres, s'impatienta et dit tout haut à la princesse que la viande était servie. La dame d'honneur, we saw her before. She is the official companion of the princess, and because she's a princess, we can assume she's noble. Pressée comme les autres. Être pressé is to be in a hurry. To be in a hurry. Okay? And se presser is to hurry or in a rush. So, to be in a hurry or in a rush. Okay, so être pressé and se presser. So she was in a hurry comme les autres, like the others, s'impatienta. S'impatienter is to lose your patience, to be impatient. S'impatienter, to be impatient. Okay, to lose your patience. Do we have a better one here? S'impatienter is to lose patience. Yeah, let's put lose patience. How do you write it in English? Patience, see. To lose patience. This is a bit better. To lose patience, because this is what is happening there. Et dit tout haut à la princesse and said out loud to the princess que la viande était servie, that the meat was served. Okay? La dame d'honneur, pressée comme les autres, s'impatienta et dit tout haut à la princesse que la viande était servie. Here you can notice that I don't do la liaison, dit tout haut à la princesse. No liaison here. And to haut, remember, we saw that before in another lesson. It is out loud. Okay, so she's not supposed to say it to the princess because the princess is busy with the prince falling in love, but she's hungry, so she says it. Let's read the sentence together, the whole sentence. 1, 2, 3. Cependant, tout le palais s'était réveillé avec la princesse. Chacun songeait à faire sa charge. Et comme ils n'étaient pas tous amoureux, ils mouraient de faim. La dame d'honneur, pressée comme les autres, s'impatienta et dit tout haut à la princesse, et dit tout haut à la princesse que la viande était servie. Oh, going to eat well today. And this is really funny. This again is the paragraph that made me fall in love with the West Sleeping Beauty. Let's read this sentence together. 1, 2, 3. Le prince aida la princesse à se lever. Elle était tout habillée et fort magnifiquement, mais il se garda bien de lui dire qu'elle était habillée comme sa grand-mère et qu'elle avait un collet monté. Elle n'en était pas moins belle. This is very cute. Le prince aida la princesse à se lever. The prince helped the princess to get up. Aider is to help. This is fine. À se lever, to get up. So it is both to get up literally, as in I'm sitting and I'm standing up, and to get up from bed. Okay, get up from bed implies kind of get dressed, wake up, get dressed, etc. Well, brush your teeth, have a shower, and get dressed, etc. It's the whole thing of getting up. So it is both literally for the gesture of your body to the whole process of getting up in the morning. Le prince aida la princesse à se lever. Elle était tout habillée. She was all dressed, fully dressed. And here you can remember what we talked about with to before. Remember? I had to check what I told you because I don't want to make any mistake. We saw that to is invariable sauf devant un adjectif féminin commençant par une consonne ou un H aspiré. Here it is not un H aspiré. It is un H muet. Okay? Here, habillé is un H muet. So it doesn't exist. So here, to is invariable. It doesn't change, even though habillé is feminine. Okay? So it is the twin brother of the example that we saw before. I think it was tout allumé, something like that. I gave you an example with tout allumé. And this is the twin brother of the example because it is the opposite. Elle était tout habillée et fort magnifiquement. And absolutely wonderfully. Magnifiquement is wonderfully, okay? And fort is very. It is again old-fashioned French to say very. Très. You could say très. Okay? Fort, c'est très. However, fort in real life is strong. Okay, nowadays it is strong. Cet homme, non. Cette femme est très forte. Elle peut soulever 100 kilos. Cette femme est très forte. Elle a une thèse. Non, on va changer. Elle est docteur en mathématiques. Cette femme est très forte. Elle a résolu notre problème. So I'm showing you 3 examples here. So we can use fort as in strong. She can lift 100 kilos. So she has strength. I have another one. Cette femme est très forte. Elle pèse 300 kilos. So we have for has different meanings. For can be strong, like she can lift 100 kilos. Cette femme est très forte, elle est docteur en mathématiques. She's very clever. She has a PhD in mathematics. Elle est très forte, elle a résolu notre problème. She solved our problem. And this, you have this idea of clever. Okay, it can be intelligent and clever depending on the meaning, on the context. And here, cette femme est très forte, elle pèse 300 kilos. It can be really fat as well. Elle pèse 300 kilos. And all this applies to men, but we have examples with men all the time, so I wanted to give you an example with a woman. So these are the meanings of fort, but fort here is très, okay? Fort magnifiquement, we could say très magnifiquement, but don't say it because it's strong. Mais il se garda bien. Se garder is not to do, to prevent yourself from doing something. Can I find something better? Se garder de. Yeah, to hold back from, to refrain from doing something. To refrain from doing something. Se garder de faire quelque chose, and this is something that you can use. Okay, no problem at all. Se garder de faire quelque chose, to refrain from doing something. Il se garda bien de lui dire. He refrained from telling her what? Qu'elle était habillée comme sa mère grand. That she was dressed like his grandmother. And here we have mère grand in the fairy tale writing. We would write sa grand-mère. Sa grand-mère. Et qu'elle avait un collet monté. So, collet monté is interesting because un collet monté is an old-fashioned piece of clothing. It is, what did I write for you? It's on the other side of my notebook. It is a kind of a collar or a neck that goes up. A collar that goes up. So you can check it on Google Image because it will be obvious once you see it. But collet monté is also an adjective that is used in modern French. Collet monté means I found prim and proper, which I didn't know, but I think my favorite translation is uptight. Okay. I have other ways to tell you what it is in French, but because I assume they're children, I didn't want to give you others. But you know that uptight always have lots of slang around it. I'm sure in English it has, so in French it has too. So collet monté is also an adjective to mean uptight. But it is not the meaning here, obviously. It is what she's wearing. Elle n'en était pas moins belle. She was not any beautiful in any way. She was not less beautiful in any way. So it's funny because the prince notices that something's wrong with her dress. And he doesn't say anything because obviously she has the age of his grandmother, which is a bit awkward. But let's say it's a fairy tale and she stopped, she actually stopped getting older. So fantastic, well done. We're going to read all of this together. I am checking the liaison we have here. One, mais il se garda bien de lui dire qu'elle était habillée. Elle était toute habillée. I have one here. Comme sa mère grand et qu'elle avait un collet monté. Elle n'en était pas moins belle. Okay, so we can read all the paragraphs together because you did very well today. Breathe in, breathe out, and let's read 1, 2, and 3. Il était plus embarrassé qu'elle et l'on ne doit pas s'en étonner. Oh, we have one here. Elle avait eu le temps de songer à ce qu'elle aurait à lui dire. Car il y a apparence, l'histoire n'en dit pourtant rien, que la bonne fée, pendant un si long sommeil, lui avait procuré le plaisir des songes agréables. Enfin, il y avait 4 heures qu'ils se parlaient, et ils ne s'étaient pas encore dit la moitié des choses qu'ils avaient à se dire. Cependant, tout le palais s'était réveillé avec la princesse. Chacun songeait à faire sa charge, et comme ils n'étaient pas tous amoureux, ils mouraient de faim. La dame d'honneur, pressée comme les autres, we have one here, s'impatienta et dit tout haut à la princesse que la viande était servie. Le prince aida la princesse à se lever. Elle était tout habillée et fort magnifiquement. Mais il se garda bien de lui dire qu'elle était habillée comme sa mère grand et qu'elle avait un collet monté. Elle n'en était pas moins belle. And actually I should say, elle n'en était pas moins belle. Elle n'en était pas moins belle in one breath. Well, congratulations for today. You did really well. I'm very glad and proud of you. So I hope you took lots of notes, and don't forget to put a thumb up. Hope to see you tomorrow again at 7:15 p.m. for what happens next. I very much look forward to seeing that with you. And it was a pleasure to be with you tonight. Stay safe, stay at home as much as you can, and thank you to all the people who are essential workers during these difficult times. We are extremely thankful for your work, and I'm delighted to be able to help you now with French. Fairy tales are a great way to keep together and to keep us entertained and amazed. So I think it's great that we're doing this all together now. I wish you une bonne soirée, une bonne nuit, and maybe une bonne journée if you have all the day ahead. That's really nice. And I will see you tomorrow à 7h15 heure de Paris. Allez, salut!